Afrobeats plus dancehall. Blood, sweat and tears, finances, resources and energy.
Let them know.
This is the calling I had. Where the man that come from, a Ghana I come from, yo, watch yourself, yo. Do you know the thing going?
It hurts me really, because being born in Jamaica,
you, right?
I know that I don't have it like that.
This is the +44 podcast. I'm Zeze Millz.
Yeah, what's that about?
What's that all
and
about?
I'm Sideman. Music,
culture,
UK. This is +44 from Wondery. Hello YouTube, you are watching the +44 podcast highlights. If you want to listen to the full thing, you can listen wherever you get your podcasts. For those that don't know, Stonebwoy is a Afro dancehall artist. Now, as a resident Jamaican, I have to get some breakdown of what that means. Talk to us, what does it mean to be an Afro dancehall artist? Dancehall.
Yeah, man, it's that should literally just be broken down into Afrobeats plus dancehall. It's very simple in that context. I'm only very confident enough to have coined this name more than a decade ago and have been living up to it till today. And I believe that it's a very beautiful space to be in, and it will interest you to know that there are tons and tons of African youths who are into this Afro dancehall style and paying a lot of respect to that band named Stonebwoy.
All right.
Yeah, for being a fierce force, pushing this to the world.
Where did the influence come from?
Lots of artists would be from the dancehall reggae perspective. We have the Shabba, the Bujus, the Kotti ranks, the ranking families, the vibes. There's been a lot of rankings from Jamaica. Yeah, from the Shabba ranking era. Going into Beanie Man, going into Sean Paul, going into Be The Signal, going into Jackie, going into Anthony B, going into Sizzla, Keppleton, going into the Jamaicans, going into the reggae fraternity, going into Bushman, the vibes.
That's the CV, by the way. It was
I was about to say,
like,
so he
like
just
to-
letting
like
you
a
know
tall
that he knows
list.
his stuff, because I feel like you were trying to test his knowledge.
Yeah, because I was trying to
and
tell
then
the
he
guy,
was
man,
just letting you know. He was letting you know, like,
to
don't test me.
Yeah, because if you're going to talk about dancehall, you got to check in.
No, but no, but the reason why I respect it is because I always see a lot of
From Cocoa Tea to Turbulence.
He went further back than I know.
you don't even know
Yeah,
Google,
man.
like,
I'm telling you,
He
yeah,
tested
man.
my gangster. I was like, whoa.
we're like Google. No, but the reason why I think there's sometimes quite a lot of discourse online between Caribbeans and African artists and what dancehall has done for Afro beats, and there's always this conversation online about who was first and why this is this, and I
There's
think
a conversation about who was first.
let's be honest, everything's gonna come from Africa. So even dancehall, the influence, if you go back far enough, it would still be rooted in Africa.
Exactly. You're very 100%
So if we
correct.
want to go like deep, then
You're 100% correct.
It's still
just
there.
about
I'm surrounded by him and his crew in the background, so I'm just going to leave it.
Nah, man, go on with it, man. No, talk it.
go
Come
on.
on, say.
Because if we all come from
It's-
Africa,
Exactly.
then
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
it's deep rooted in there.
I don't want to base it on the nationality aspect of it, because to me, yes, we're all from one place. Let's just base it on the genres.
Yeah, but the genre comes from the people.
The genre comes
Yeah,
from the
of course the genre
in
comes
quote,
from the
the genre
people.
comes from the nationality in quote from your own
Yeah,
statement.
but I don't have a.
But it's not
that's
even
why
a-
I don't have I don't have a issue with the nationality.
Yeah.
I'm saying which preceded which.
Nationality is even in a box. Use continentality if you want to find a word. If you want to find a word.
Which
National is-
genre preceded which?
Okay, yeah, well, it's very beautiful to not even bother about which preceded which. But if you do want to go into which preceded which, I is so comfortable, and nothing should stop you being honest to shower it onto the reality of, I repeat, that reggae music, dancehall music is coming from the diaspora, where Jamaica is at the heart of it, right? But the blackness part of Jamaicans, which might include the blackness part, I'm being very specific because there are Spanish, there are Indians.
Yeah.
The blackness part of Jamaica cannot be denied of coming from Africa.
Oh, facts.
100.
And
There's no
that is
disagreement
where the
there.
topic is. In our DNAs, which would be our sound, our music, our culture, etc., then you root it back to Africa.
Oh, 100%.
So precision-wise, I will say that there have been styles and genres of music, African styles that preceded reggae music.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Which would have, one way or the other,
influence
spread across the world. Because a genre as simple as high life music, which is a major part of the foundation of Afrobeats today, is older than reggae music.
There you go.
There are elements of that is found in reggae music also.
Do you think Afrobeats would ever be colonized?
By who?
Do you get what I mean by colonized? Basically, like, we see more white Afrobeats artists. Do you feel like that will ever be a day that comes?
That will be a beautiful day. We just have to keep the history alive.
There you go.
Yeah, that's actually,
That's a good way to look at it.
There's an adage in Ghana or Africa that says that when the mother is pregnant with a baby, then it's the mother's. But when the baby comes out, it's for everybody. You know, so everybody can look after that. Everybody can teach the child something. Everybody can say, don't do that. Why did you say that to that one?
Don't overstep the mark.
But they have to know the history of who gave birth to that child.
Yeah.
Even if the child eventually bleaches and loses their melanin and become like another group of people.
You don't have to speak about Michael like that.
They have to. You know what I'm trying to say? So history is really important, and the truth of it, the correctness of history is what we have to note. And then upholding that history becomes the fight, which is where the colonization comes to.
I think it'll be easier now than ever before, though. Like when you talk about, for instance, like hip hop and stuff like that, and people talk about the history of hip hop, the history is always a bit muddied by different people's perspectives and opinions.
Yes.
Based on the fact that we didn't have the means of cataloging history like we do now.
Right,
yes.
I don't think that would ever happen with Afrobeats because there's just too much documentation.
Thank you very much. And so that is, keep the facts. You know, that is one of the things that's going to make us hold on strong to it. Else we're going to lose it. Because when you look into other communities outside of the Black communities, more often, you know, coming from Africa, I don't think they have issues with representation and credit.
Do you think, does anybody ever challenge your history with Afro dancehall?
My history of Afro dancehall would be that I should be one of the, you see, there's a saying that goes like, the idea is not in one man's head, you know? So it will interest you to know that I have been pushing Afro dancehall coined as a term from early as I started my career. Actually, before I even stepped onto it properly, this is the calling I had. I'm so inspired by everything so much so that I couldn't just move on to one part. So I sat and actually asked myself, I'd be like, so what would I call it? What would it have to be? What are my influences, you know? So I knew that, okay, I'll say it this way, I'll call it this way. And as far as 2007, 8, I've been about it. In that space, I haven't heard anybody say Afro dancehall or put in blood, sweat, and tears, finances, resources, and energy.
Let them know.
To promote it, to push it to the forefront. Not even the confidence to speak patois, to even stand like, yeah, where the man that come from, I Ghana come from, you know, yo, watching yourself, you know, you know, the thing going.
It hurts me really, because being born in Jamaica, I know that I don't have it like that. Mine is very semi-skimmed, it's very red top milk, it's very diluted.
It's very high-pitched as well.
You didn't have to do all that.
Sorry, I was just saying.
You didn't have to do all that.
There
was bass in his voice. There's a certain gravel in his voice that I don't have, and it did hurt.
and that aspect of my dancehall has to be 100% credited to the founding fathers from Jamaica, whose music I have lived on and learned from before I ever touched on the soil of Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then also the other part of me that to speak the Twi, the Ewe, because I'm an Ewe boy from the Ewe tribe of Ghana, you know, the Volta region, but the most popularly spoken local language is Twi, and everybody can speak Twi. See how I'm pronouncing Twi. It's a saying, so look at an African.
Which Ghanaian man taught you that?
Also, I've been to Ghana twice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so she can.
That didn't answer my question.
And also, to answer your question, it was my first boyfriend. He broke my heart, and we no longer talk.
Wow.
Oh,
that was deep, wasn't it?
My bad.
It's okay. He's married now with 2 kids.
Yeah.
How is it okay? Why is that okay?
Sorry.
Sorry, that's what you said.
So like I was saying, you know, like you're saying about that, I think I will claim it.
Yeah.
I will claim it, and because I'm not claiming it because I'm sitting at home being idle.
Yeah.
About
You're doing
about
the work.
it. You have to put in the work to even have the moral right to claim it. And then, as much as I will claim it, it is not cast in stone to be left to just me alone.
Right.
Other people can say their piece.
I have youths from Zimbabwe, Naughty O, big up yourself. I have youths from Gambia. I have people who are also have looked up to me and still look up to me for the doors that I'm breaking, because Afrobeats is beautiful, it's us, it's ours. You know what I mean? But I am still very adamant about the fact that there is a wider, Afrobeat might be a wider umbrella, but there are different genres that, you know, also come to make it complete. Where I think if I am not sounding like tautology, Afro dancehall fits very perfectly into the whole system as well, because a typical Afrobeat song of today has elements of everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Basically.
Yeah.
So you don't know. So that's how it is.
So let's talk about the new album. It's your 5th album.
Yeah.
Album's called Fifth Dimension.
Up top.
What are we going to get different from Stonebwoy in this album?
Exactly. This should be able to take you to the 5th dimension if you haven't gotten there already from the other previous works. It's only fortunate that this is called that. You know.
They don't describe it like this, Zeze. Yeah, so what's happening with your mixtape? Yeah, just a couple tracks from the man.
But also he's mature. He's got a family. He's 35. He knows how to articulate himself. We're talking about you like you're not here. But this is the difference. We're sitting down with guys that are like 21 that have just signed a record deal and gassed about getting Moncler jackets. Do you know what I mean? No disrespect. But, do you get what I mean?
This all I guess.
No,
but then again, I started it.
You know what I'm saying?
What's the 5th dimension to you?
Yeah,
like,
that's actually...
break that down.
It's actually my 5th studio album. It could be my 4th studio album called the 5th dimension, right?
Right.
I am at a place where having continuously weaved all these 3 mighty genres of music together, it has elements, you know, and musical strings from all these aspects. Basically, the songs on those albums, which definitely is what music does, is waves, is sounds, vibrations, energy, velocity, etc. All those are supposed to take you on a dimension. That's how we should actually look at music and where it takes us to. It takes us onto different dimensions, you know. So believing the craft and believing in the power of music, I trust that I've been able to deliver the message of music, the sound of music, the power of music into different forms where when you pick this album, you're going to be able to enter into the present that's going to take you on to the next dimension. Trust you me, you know, sonically, you know what I mean?
To me, it sounds like you're saying that when you listen to this, you're going to hear something that's, I don't want to use the term experimental, but it's new.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You can use the term, if you can even use the term experimental, I don't mind. So that's what the album consists of. From track 1 to track 17, you're going to find something you must love.
I've been to Ghana now 2 years in a row for Dirty December. That's what they call it, Dirty December.
Is that what they call it?
Yeah, they call it Dirty December.
What does dirty mean? Does it mean dirty?
As in like, it's just lit.
Yeah, I think I'm only hearing of it being called that this year.
Really?
And here in the UK, I've heard 3 of the UK people call it Dirty December.
Did they kind of like, did we kind of
So it's like
It's
you
called
guys,
Dirty December.
I go on like, it's you guys.
No, but when
Did
you
we
were...
gentrify it?
Yeah.
Gentrify it.
Because
you guys
last
give it a
year
name.
when I was there, not this coming into this year. Last year when I was there was like a big billboard that was like something Dirty December in Ghana.
However it's called, we like it. It's been lit.
Come here,
However
give us
it's
your
called,
money.
we like it.
Yeah, it's so and I feel like Ghana is becoming like a hotspot destination.
Yes,
like so many Americans there now.
Is, yeah.
The Americans have
Yes.
come and they've come to ruin everything. Sorry, I should have said that out loud.
The American, I know you're saying that in a good way. So to all my American fans, she's saying that in a very great way.
No, I am. I think, I think what happened was last year, I don't think they understand it yet, if that makes sense.
Just say Meek Mill's name.
No, I'm not talking about Meek Mill, because Meek Mill was just happy. He was happy to be in like just amongst that many black people, and that's fine. Because that's what I was like. When I don't think you realise sometimes as black people, you obviously that's where you've grown up. But coming
that's where I
from
live,
the
so.
UK, you don't realise how much you don't see yourself.
No, I realise.
Oh yeah, because you exactly. So when you
it's mad.
when you go back home to these type of places and it's predominantly us.
Yeah.
You're like,
There's
whoa.
a feeling.
crazy.
There's a feeling that probably takes over.
It does.
You know, especially if you're willing to sink in with the people, you
Right.
just get lost into
And
it.
I think genuinely the reason why I was saying I think Americans struggled a little bit was because pace of life is different. Like Ghana, everyone's very relaxed, everyone's chilled, everyone kind of, even there's like a running joke when it comes to like the service in the restaurants and the whatever. It's just like, you just know, like it might take a while and that's fine. Like you understand where
Any
you
black
are.
food.
I mean,
where
she
you
said
get
it's a
straight away
running
is
joke,
dangerous.
so it's a joke. It's not the
that's not good
reality out there like that. You know?
Yeah, it's like a running joke that, but in general, I would say over here we don't appreciate life. When I go to Ghana, I appreciate life.
Because you have to slow it down a
slow
little
down
bit.
and take everything in. Even like a place like Jamaica,
Exactly,
you have to,
the Caribbean, like, you know.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to slow down.
like literally.
all the
But
way.
Yeah.
I love Ghana. I think the people there, the spirit there.
Yeah,
The energy
the
is
spirit.
just, it's unmatched.
The
Like
spirit.
when I left, my cousin, every
Spirit.
time she leaves, she ends up crying because she's just like, I have to come back. I need to come
spirit.
back.
I work for my stuff. Nobody gives me no handout.
If you found out Chris Brown and his crew stomped out Usher, how would you feel?
None of my business.
Having experienced it myself, I'm so passionate so much so that I couldn't just, sit and watch.
If the first Thor movie, Thor was black, I'd have been ticked. I want my Thor white.
I'm of the opinion that no matter what, Africa is home to its people and more.
It's nice for them to get a taste of their own medicine, isn't it? We've had to believe that Jesus is white for the whole of our lives. So before we go, make sure you check out all the new releases this week across the +44 playlist on Amazon Music. You can download the Amazon Music app or just ask Alexa.
As well as the main +44 playlist, we also have the R&B playlist, the rap playlist, and the Afro playlist. You have been listening to the +44 podcast from Amazon Music with me, Sideman.
And me, Zeze Millz.
Listen to the +44 podcast wherever you get your podcasts or listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music.